Welcome to section 4.6, comparing and ordering fractions. So what I'm going to show you today is the correct way to compare fractions. And to compare fractions the correct way, we need to use the LCD, the least common denominator. So you find the least common denominator of the fractions first. So I'd made an example, 5/8 compared to 7/12. So we're going to find the LCD, the least common multiple. Remember, for the least common multiple of the denominator, we'll name the multiples of those numbers. So the multiples of 12 will be 12 times 1, which is 12, 12 times 2, which is 24, 12 times 3 is 36. If I name my multiples of 8 to begin with, 8 times 1, which is 8, 8 times 2, which is 16, and 8 times 3, which is 24. So 24 is the LCD. It's the smallest common denominator, the smallest common multiple of the two denominators. So after you have found the LCD, then you're going to write an equivalent fraction for each fraction using the LCD. Now, we've talked about equivalent fractions in section 2. And what you need to do is you need to make the 8 become a 24 and the 12 become a 24. So 8 times 3 is 24. 5 times 3 is 15. Whatever you do to the denominator, you do to the numerator. 12 times 2 is 24. 7 times 2 is 14. So I'm comparing 15 24s and 14 24s. Once you have the same denominator, then all you have to do is compare the numerators. So 15 is bigger than 14. So 15 24ths is greater than 14 24ths, meaning 5/8 is greater than 5/12. Please do not just guess on these numbers. A lot of people will just guess because they don't want to do the work. A lot of these are pretty quick and easy to figure out once you find that LCD. Okay? So we're going to compare each set of fractions, and like I said, we're going to find the LCD of both 9 and 3 because those are our denominators. So 9, I have 9 times 1, which is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 3 is 27. Now I'll come down to my 3's. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. So I can stop because I already see what my LCD is, and that would be 9. Okay, now what you're trying to do is change both fractions to fractions that are going to have a denominator of 9. And you'll notice that 4/9 already does. Okay, it already does have a denominator of 9. So I don't have to do anything with that one, but for 2/3, I'm going to have to multiply them both by whatever would give me 9 as the denominator. So 3 times what is 9? 3 times 3 is 9. And I do the same thing to the numerator, so 2 times 3 is 6. So I'm comparing 6/9 and 4/9. And once you get to this point, you just compare numerators. So what's bigger, 6 or 4? The 6/9 is greater than the 4/9, meaning the 2/3 is greater than the 4/9. Same thing for this one. I'm comparing 12s and 8s, and I'm going to find my LCD. So 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. 12 times 3 is 36. Let's find our 8s. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. And then once again, I'm going to stop because I can see what my LCD is. So my LCD here is 24. So I'm going to change 5/12 and 7/8 into a fraction with 24 as my denominator. Okay, so 12 times what is 24? Well, we can see that 12 times 2 is 24. So I'm going to do the same to the numerator. 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, 8 times 3 is 24, so I do the same thing to my numerator. 7 times 3 is 21. So now I'm comparing 10 24s to 21 24s. And at this point, once again, you're just comparing numerators. And 10 is a less than 21. Okay, so it's a less than sign. So 5 twelfths would be less than 7 eighths. Okay, same deal when it's mixed numbers. So I still need to find the LCD of 6 and 8. So I'm going to list my common multiples here. So 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2, oh, my pen froze, is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. I'm going to list my 8s. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. Well, you'll see that I don't have anything that matches, so I have to keep going. 6 times 4 is 24, and I'm going to stop once again because I can see that my LCD here is going to be 24. Okay. Now, because my mixed number, my whole number is a 4, I know that those are already equal. So that's why I have to compare my fraction. So I'm going to do 4 and 1/6, and that's going to equal 4 and something over 24. 4 and 5/8, that is going to equal 4 and something over 24. Okay, so 6 times 4 is 24. 4 times 1 is 4. 8 times 3 is 24. 5 times 3 is 15. So I'm comparing the 4 and the 15. 4 24ths is going to be less than 15 24ths. So 4 and 1/16 is less than 4 and 5/8. So once again, get that LCD, change both fractions into equivalent fractions using that new common denominator, and then compare your numerators. Okay, when you're ordering fractions from least to greatest, it's this exact same process, except now I have to find the LCD of all 4 of these numbers. So I'm going to find it for 2, 3, 5, and 6, and some of you may already know what they are. I'm actually going to start with the bigger numbers and go out 3. So 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. For the 6, 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. I have nothing that matches, so I'm going to continue. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 6 is 30. 18 times 4 is 24. 18 times 5 is 30. So now I have a common multiple. We'll see if it works for the rest of them. 3 times 1 is 3. Times 2 is 6. Times 3 is 9. Times 4 is 12. Times 5 is 15. These share the 15 and they share the 12, but it doesn't matter because they all have to have it in common. Times 6 is 18. Times 7 is 21. Times 8 is 24. Keep going this way here. Times 9 is 27. And times 10 is 30. So I have 30, 30, 30. Okay, for my 2, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. I can't get over any further. 26, 28, and 30. So 30 does end up being my LCD for all. 3, remember your LCD has to have a common number between all numbers. Okay, so 30 is my LCD. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change all of these numbers to fractions with 30 as their denominator. Okay, so I'm going to set them all up. All right, now here we go. 2 times 15 is 30. So 1 times 15 is 15. 3 times 10 is 30. 2 times 10 is 20. 6 times 5 is 30. 5 times 5 is 25. And 5 times 6 is 30. 3 times 6 is 18. So looking at these numbers, these are what we're ordering from least to greatest. So my smallest number is 15/30, which just happens to be 1/2. My next smallest number is 18/30, which is 3/5. My next smallest number is 20/30, which is 2/3. And my largest number in this case is 25/30, which is 5/6. Okay, now notice how I'm not ordering denominators from least to greatest. A lot of people get in that habit. That's not what we're doing. Okay, you have to change them all into their LCD. Okay, so let's go to our last problem. 4 and 5/6, 4 and 2/3, 3 and 5, and 1 and 5. Now I've already written out 6, 3, 5, and 5. And I found their LCD, smallest common denominator, to be 30. So I've already done that work. Okay, so I'm not going to do it again. So I need to change 4 and 5/6 to a denominator with 30, 4 and something over 30. 4 and 2/3 to 4 and something over 30. 4 and 3/5 to 4 and something over 30. And 4 and 1/5 to 4 and something over 30. So once again, I'm going to change my numerators now. There we go. Okay, 6 times 5 is 30. 5 times 5 is 25. 3 times 10 is 30. 2 times 10 is 20. 5 times 6 is 30. 3 times 6 is 18. 5 times 6 is 30. 1 times 6 is 6. Okay, so I'm looking at these numerators to compare. So I have a 25, a 20, an 18, and a 6. 6 is the smallest, so 4 and 1/5 is my smallest number. Then I have 18, so 4 and 3/5 is the next smallest. Then I'm comparing 20 and 25, so 4 and 2/3 is the next smallest number, and my largest number is 4 and 5/6. Okay, so you have to find the common denominator. After you find the common denominator, change your numerators. After that, compare numerators and order those from least to greatest, and you'll have your answer. Okay, make sure you come to class tomorrow with any questions you may have, and as always, thanks for watching.